join us right now, so maybe they'll be able to watch it later on. All right, and also I turn on the chat so I can kind of monitor if you have any questions. Feel free to enter in the chat. So right now I am sharing my screen. This is a list of questions that some of the parents submitted to Ms. Yu, and she shared with me to answer during today's Q&A. I quickly want to really talk about our middle school program from my perspective, and then I will go into answer these questions one at a time. So I really want to highlight a few key points about our middle school program. Our Mandarin is number one. Number one Mandarin, super strong Mandarin program in MIMS. Across grade levels, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. We are by far, even though some other middle school are, offering Chinese 1, 2, I don't know how many offer 3 and 4, but in comparison, apple to apple Chinese 1 to other Mandarin middle school Chinese 1, we are more rigorous. Because of our student, more of our students are exposed to Mandarin early on in elementary school. Our Mandarin teachers are more experienced. So for different reasons, our Mandarin program is more rigorous. So just because other middle school offer Mandarin Chinese isn't quite the same. Our Mandarin language program is just that much better. High school credits. Currently, we can earn up to 7 high school credits for Mandarin Chinese 1, 2, 3, 4, and also algebra and biology for 8th grade, and a fundamental computer science that's also a high school credit. We're looking into expand upon that. Today, just in today's admin meeting, we're talking about looking into advanced or high school credit for English course. We don't know which one yet, but we need to look into our teachers' certification status and our teacher availability to offer that high school English credit. And there are other, fine arts credit that we may possibly offer also, but once again, it depends on teacher certification status, but that's something we are looking to expand more high school credits. And then also equally important, and this is very important, is that MIMS may continue to provide this innocent but focused learning environment. Earlier today we had this 5th grade tour, and we talked to all of the 5th grade students, and we learned two main things from our conversation with the 5th graders. Number one, they want a sports opportunity. They want to go to bigger middle school to get into their swimming team or to their football team and whatnot, which is great. But most of them didn't know that you can still come to MIMS during the day and go to your neighborhood middle school for sports. Yes, that's true. So regardless, doesn't matter which school you're zoned to, you can always go to your zone middle school for sports in the afternoon. So that's number one thing that the students learned today. Secondly, the innocent environment. Some of the students, they want to go to a larger middle school, but guess what? There are problems that come along with larger middle school. They worry about drugs. They have to worry about bullying. But in our environment, you can, say that, yeah, we still have, discipline issues here and there, but everybody knows everybody, and the teachers, the admin, we address those problems very, very quickly, and we don't have a drug problem, period. We just don't have that kind of problems that bigger middle school have. So this is some of the 3 very, very important, determinant factor is the strong Mandarin program. So your child has already spent 5, 7 years learning Mandarin in elementary school. If you don't continue on, all of that effort is almost wasted, because I promise you, other middle school, even though they offer Mandarin, is not nearly as rigorous as our school. And then we're going to continue to offer more and more high school credits. And we are a very small and close environment where everyone knows everyone and cares about everyone. So at this time, I would like to go ahead and jump into the questions some of the parents asked, and I'll quickly go over them. And also, after this list of questions, I'll save time for the parents who are currently in this virtual meeting now to ask some of your questions if you have any. And you're welcome to ask questions to our parent helpers. So we're very happy to and honored to have Ms. Haley, Mr. Clavel, Ms. Morthy, and Dr. Long, who are middle school parents right now. They're here to share their perspective as middle school parents with us. So real quickly, I am on roll number 3. What program does MIMS have to make our students meet the second language credits to going into high school? So I'm not sure if this is in addition to Mandarin. So if that's in addition to Mandarin, we don't have another language in addition to Mandarin. We're focused all of our resources on Mandarin. But for Mandarin language, your child can earn up to 4 high school credits: Chinese 1, 2, 3, and 4. Your child go into 6th grade. At the end of 6th grade, we'll encourage our students, and we help them prepare CBE tests, credit by exam for Mandarin. If your child passes CBE 2, in 7th grade, your child will take Chinese 3. In 8th grade, Chinese 4. So all those are high school credit that your child don't have to worry about in high school. All right. How many are immersion beginner track in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade? I don't have an exact number right now, but I can tell you roughly half and half. We have 4 groups of 6th grader, 3 groups of 7th grader, and 2 groups of 8th grader. So about 2 groups of 6th grade are beginner new Mandarin learners. About a little bit more than 1 group of students in 7th grade are new to Mandarin, and I think just shy of 1 group in 8th grade is new to Mandarin right now. So about half. Next, what are the curriculum difference in immersion track and beginner? So this, I have to look at my cheat sheet a little bit. So for beginner track, so I don't remember the name of those textbook by heart, but for the new Chinese learners, we're using Discovering Chinese Pro 1 for 6th grade, Discovering Chinese Pro 2 for 7th grade, and Discovering Chinese Pro 3 for 8th grade. And when they get to 8th grade, those new learners, they are that's Chinese 1 credit. That's 1 high school credit, but that's for new Chinese learners. For advanced learners, the 6th grade textbook is Magical Tour of China 1. And then 7th grade, that's Magical Tour of China 2. If your child is Chinese 2 or 3, they are using Harvest as their textbook, and that's in 7th grade. In 8th grade, Harvest is the textbook for Chinese 2, 3, and 4. And we use Barron AP Chinese workbook to prepare advanced placement courses. It's a college credit placement test. So those are the textbook or curriculum differences. Number 6, row 6, will beginner track qualify for immersion? Yes. So the new Chinese learners, we do give them screener test in 6th grade. And so if they're reaching a certain passing point, and that is different every year, it is possible that we place our new Chinese learner or new to MIMS students in advanced track. All right, so next, I'm going a little bit faster because I see it's already 5:14. What are the placements for MIMS student in high school? do you have accurate information that you can share, say, list of school names and numbers? I don't have that information because once they promote it out of MIMS, I don't have a way to individually track them. So I'm sorry, I don't have that information. Without Miss In, is the current teacher able to help students pass the same high school level of Chinese exams? What are the extra work preparation in order to pass? How many percentage pass among last graduate class? So Miss In is such a strong Mandarin teacher. But yes, Miss Liu and Miss Wang, they're equally as effective. They're very, very good Mandarin teachers, both Miss Liu and Miss Wang. They're using project-based learning to encourage students of all Mandarin proficiency level to learn Mandarin. Not to mention, Miss In is actually here one day every Wednesday to work with our teachers. So we didn't totally lose Miss In. But still, she's not in the classroom teaching though. So I want to be clear about that. Both Miss Liu and Miss Wang, they have many, many years of teaching experience, I think close to a decade. And this is teaching in Taiwan, teaching in US, and across grade level. And what percentage of passing? I don't have that number, but I do know Ms. Shah has the number, and we really have a high percentage of student, pass either CBE test and or AP college credit test. Okay, moving on. And once again, I can't stress enough that our Mandarin program, it remains very, very strong. Our students, our teachers prepare students very, very well for their own proficiency and also for the test. Parents who left MIMS commented that MIMS English, writing, and science are too weak due to less class time. Please address this concern. I mean, I acknowledge that. I don't necessarily agree with this statement. I acknowledge it. And earlier I was talking about for high school credit, we are looking into providing more advanced high school credit in English aspect. For science, I don't think that's true at all because I know we are strong in biology. Case in point, 100% of our students who took biology tests passed EOC last year, and I think the year before also. And for that matter, same with my algebra. So, but still, Mr. Silveira currently, he's the 6th and 7th grade ELA and 7th grade writing teacher, right? He's a published author. He published his own book. He's a very strong reading teacher. Ms. Simmons, this is her 3rd year in MIMS teaching 7th and 8th grade ELA. So she's definitely getting into a zone. And also she had other, teaching experience in charter school. So, and from my understanding and observation that her delivery of instruction is very in-depth. They may not have a lot of projects or so to speak, but Ms. Simmons is a strong, very strong English teacher. Ms. Silveira is an accomplished published writer, and he's new to the middle school, but he's not new to English or writing. And I promise we're looking into expanding high school credit in the English subject area. Can you ask 6th grade English teachers to share if he or she is able to cover all curriculum in the link? Sorry, I don't have enough time. I mean, because I just saw this morning, and we have all day events, so I was not able to address this. So I may have to circle back on these 3 items. Next, how much do English teachers cover strategic reading and writing? The scope can be found in the link. So sorry, I don't have that information at this time. Also, is pre-AP math offered? Yes. So the pre-AP is offered to all of the middle school for math and science. And this is, and I think all subject area, but specifically for math and science, the students are learning 6th, 7th, and 8th grade math and science in 6th and 7th grade. So by the end of 7th grade, they have finished all 3 years of math and science. The reason for that is so that come 8th grade, they may take algebra and biology. Now, we do have a matrix, a series of scores based on teacher recommendation, your child's initial readiness for the subject area, your child's STAR results, this and that. There are different factors that put into this matrix, and your child has to meet that matrix requirement to be placed in algebra and or biology. In the event that your child is not recommend or did not meet that score, your child will take 8th grade science or 8th grade math in 8th grade, even though they already finished all 3 years of math and science. Your child is gonna repeat the same 8th grade math and science in 8th grade in the event he or she didn't meet the matrix score. All right. Okay. Oh, we're short on time. Oh, sorry. So, let me go a little bit faster. Can you ask social study teachers to share? Yes, we can share the curriculum. Can I ask technology? Yes, I can do that. Can we offer music instrument? We are looking into a way to offer orchestra through elective, but I may not be able, depending on the number of students. Like once again, we need that enrollment to hire more teachers, but it's definitely a possibility to offer music, orchestra, choir, or band. It's a possibility, but I have to get into more detail on that to discuss the logistic of it, and I guess we'll have to come back to tell you more about how we can make it happen. Can we involve the curriculum specialist at the link? Evaluate the curriculum scope. Yes. Okay. Can we involve STEM? Okay. So sorry. This is not something that we answer at this time. Can we participate these STEM events? Sorry, I really haven't had a chance to look at these links, so I apologize. Can we become? I don't know. I need to learn more about this. Can we debate theater? Yes, we can possibly have debate theater team. So for sure, yes. What does student council do? So I have a really good plan for student council. I know we kind of before COVID, it was like the first couple of years that we kind of starting to explore student council. I still remember in my middle school days that we have a strong student council in my middle school. And I have that clear memory, and I want to go into that direction where the school really empowers students to participate and become more involved in their own curriculum, their own school day, their own learning. In that, I remember we had either quarterly or monthly meeting with the entire student body, and the student council have each middle school class has a representative, and I was actually the representative in my class to represent my class to talk about what are the matters that's important to my class, and we voice our voice at the monthly or quarterly meeting so that the school will recognize our needs. And I have like really good, strong understanding and vision as far as what student council can or should do. And some of the things, we talk about eighth grade dance, graduation, promotion ceremony, and also, it's new to us that we have this time capsule burial ceremony. All those things the student council can help plan. And I think it creates a really good platform for students to demonstrate their leadership and responsibility and all of that skills. So I have a really good vision for that. I just need more teachers and parents and students involved. But trust me, I have a plan for that. Can we explore the possibility of writer in school? or any other writing specialist, yes. Yes, I would love to hear more ideas about elective, because I think that's one area. Elective is a one area that allows a lot of imagination, a lot of creativity, a lot of options. I know how to do electives is really exciting, and the more I study the second curriculum guideline, the more possibility I know. So I really want to open this conversation with our parents, with our teachers about what we can do. Every year we can expand, and I promise you, just today we talk about, we were talking about bringing study hall back, so the student can, I guess work on their assignment or project. We're talking about having a library class, either for student helpers to sort library books, or provide that learning or reading environment for our learners. So, and there are other opportunities for electives. So I really want to have more conversation on that. Can we have lockers in middle school? We, it's a it's a longer conversation, but we have cubbies, and we're talking about opening up the cubbies for students to put their jackets or put some of their belongings using the cubbies. And the nurse agreed that, hey, we should be able to use that space again. But as far as lockers, that's a different conversation we need to explore. Can you post grade 6th, 7th, and 8th grade curriculum separate by core? We can post that. I mean, it is available on HISD. So we can, I can share that. I'm happy to share that. Do middle school have one-to-one computer? Technically speaking, we have one-to-one Chromebooks for middle school, but not all of them in perfect working condition. I mean, as you can imagine, there is wear and tear. So right now, the working Chromebooks, we don't have enough for one-to-one. But I can guarantee you that if a student need Chromebook, we can find one for them. Do middle school have local field? So right now we can do virtual field trip, and this is for all entire HISD. That the in-person field trip is suspended for this school year until further notice. We don't know what's going to happen in spring yet. But once in-person field trip returns, I'm happy to look into different field trips. And for that matter, we have made a decision. I have made a decision for all of the 5, 6, 7, and 8th grade students to go to something called BizTown. BizTown field trip is basically a financial literacy field trip that really helps students understand the use or manage their finance. They will learn earning a paycheck. They will learn thinking about planning for paying taxes, childcare. They will be thinking about manage car payment, house payment, loans, and this and that. It's a really good field trip that is in person. So we're planning, hopefully, for spring semester that all of the students get to go. And this is not just this year. I see the value in that. So it's going to become part of our culture, part of our routine and curriculum, that every single 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students will go on this field trip to learn about managing their personal finance. So at this time, I want to open up the floor for our current parents. If you have any questions for me or for our middle school parents, if you would like to hear their perspective, I will open up the floor to you. So feel free to unmute yourself or use the raise your hand button to I guess ask any questions that you may have. So take your time, think about your question. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask any questions. In the meantime, I also want to share that this morning we had the 5th grade tour in the gym, and it was very successful. In my opinion, it was widely successful because we learned from each other. The students learned from us that what we can offer in middle school. I learned from the students that a lot of them, they want to go to a different middle school for sports. But guess what? I tell the students, you get the best of both worlds. MIMS is one of the best top middle school in HISD period. I mean, it's published, it's on the news. So you get to come to middle school in MIMS, learn all about academics. You can still go to your neighborhood middle school after school to go to the sports team. So if you want to go to Lanier, you want to go to Pin Oak, get on their swimming team, you can still do that in the after school program. So they learn something about the sports this morning. All right, I see Dr. Harris. You have a question. Go ahead, Dr. Harris.
Yes, hope you can hear me. The question I have is, my daughter had a student that had COVID in her classroom, so she's been out and won't return to 25th. My concern is the amount of homework. I haven't seen it. I mean, she's logged in and she's doing work online, but she's not getting, I'm pretty sure, as much homework or support as everyone else. And I want to know what I can do to get more homework in. I made a copy of the STAR math, and I'm going to work on it with her one-on-one. Is there anything else we can look forward to or we can have?
Absolutely. So the temporary online learning platform is entirely prepared and presented by the district. They manage that. However, I encourage you to reach out to our teachers and say, hey, Ms. Thong, hi, Ms. Zhang, I need more, work or curriculum. What are you guys working on? What's your homework or assignment right now, so I can, also share with my child. So directly reach out to teachers. I promise that they will respond with that.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Any other questions about middle school? If you're not sure about what we're offering, I hear that some of the parents are concerning, Mr. Ying, you don't have a real middle school. No, we do. We really have a real middle school. All of the academic requirements, advanced academic requirements, strong Mandarin programs. We actually won UIL sports. I don't know how many of you knew, but our 7th grade cross country, we won first place. And that was about a couple weeks ago. And they have another meet this Saturday. But we're going to continue to offer more and more sports. So that's that. Dr. Long, I see your hand up. Go ahead.
Hi, I do have some statistics from Ms. Xia. For those of you who are interested, of the students last year who took the AP test, 20% passed with a 3. On the AP test, it's scored 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, with 3, 4, and 5 passing. So 20% passed with a 3, 10% with a 4, and 17% passed with a 5. So it's a very, very high percentage rate. When looking at the scores, Ms. Xia feels like there were some who were on the bubble and probably would have passed and done a little bit better had we had more in-person learning, but it was all, mostly virtual last year, especially leading up to the AP test. So just wanted to give you guys that information. That was one of the main things that kept our family there, is trying to pass the AP test, and my daughter was able to do very well, even though we don't speak Chinese at home. And then I wanted to speak, if it's okay, Mr. Ying, to one of the other questions, which is what high schools our kids go on to. And I collected that information from last year's 8th grade class simply because my daughter's in that class. But we had 13, I believe 11 to 13 kids go to Carnegie and 11 to 13 kids go to DeBakey. There were probably 6 or 7 kids that went to Bel Air, and then Lamar, another 6 or 7 at Heiss, 7 or 8 at Energy Institute, Challenge, West Side, and several of the other public schools. On the private school side, Episcopal, St. Agnes had 3 of our students. Drake Jesuit has 4, I think. And then in years past, we had students go to St. John's and Audie from our middle school. So very strong matriculation from our program into high schools. And from all of the students, or all of the parents that I've spoken to whose kids are now in 9th grade, they're like, yeah, Chinese is too easy for them. And I can give you examples if you need, but they're like, wow, they are really prepared for Chinese compared to the sophomores and juniors that they're in school with.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Long. Yes, once again, I want to reiterate and agree with Dr. Long. Our Mandarin program is really, really rigorous, really, really strong. And this is a very difficult language. And I really feel that, if we don't continue on into middle school and MIMS, all of that, you know, that effort, that hard work, may go to waste. And it's such a waste if you already spent 7 years, studying this language. You really need to continue on. This is a 10-year commitment. And after this 10th year, I really, really promise you that your child will have a different future, really a different future than any other graduates, because your child can communicate with another group of Chinese people, because they're that fluent. They understand the culture, they understand our history, they understand the language. Your child will be able to express themselves, and not many school can say that. So we, the parents, the educator, we need to set our eyesight in 20 years. We're not looking at just now. If I focus on right now, you know you no, so we don't focus on right now, we focus on 10 years from now, 20 years from now. What my child need, what kind of skills, what kind of knowledge, what kind of character my child needs to be successful. And I promise you, additional Mandarin language, the fluent Mandarin language, is going to really, really help your child become more successful in the future. And also, we have such a strong academic program. And I think it is true that you gravitate towards the same group of people, and our students, they all study so hard. So like, there's no room for slacker. Your child will be like, oh, everybody studies so hard, so I better study some more. And that's not always the case in big school, right? I mean, there's a lot more distraction, and I guess distraction is what I want to say. So this is something that I feel the parents, we have the vision, where our children, maybe they just want certain things, such as more sports. They want to get on sports team. I can totally relate to that. But guess what? They can go to that sports team after school. So regardless of which school you're zoned to, you can always go to that school for sports. Really, your child is in a perfect place to get the best of both worlds. So definitely don't miss that opportunity. Once again, looking at our ranking, just about every other middle school you go is going to be a downgrade. We are one of the top HISD school. And I promise you, looking at our current star result, looking at our staff, how dedicated they are, looking at our student body and parent support, we're going to continue to strive and do well. And I promise you that. And I personally, see that potential, not just in Mandarin, not just in core courses, but also I promise that we're going to expand those high school credits. So all is to say that this is one of the top best school, top middle school in HISD, no question about it. Any parents, like, what will make you decide? If you're still on the fence, I'm really wanting to hear what will help you make that decision. So I guess don't feel shy. Just unmute your mic and tell me, Mr. Ng, I don't know. I'm deciding between Lanier and MIMS, or Pinot and MIMS. Like, so let me answer your question. What is it that I can share to help you decide? I mean, if Pinot is the best choice, we can recognize that. I understand that. But at least when you hear my answer, you will know for sure, okay, maybe Pinot is the best for you, and I'll be okay with that. So, but I guess, and let's ask your questions. Tell me what you're wondering about. All right, Dr. Long, I see your hand up. Oh, you're on mute.
It's not me, sorry.
Oh, no worries. Okay, Mr. or Miss Ruben?
Oh, hi. This is Minji. I'm Kai's mom. One of the things that I've been hearing from people who've left MIMS to go elsewhere for middle school is that they were worried about the core curriculum, specifically the writing and the English. I mean, the Chinese is no doubt fabulous. And math, I'm not so worried about either, but a lot about writing. You know, a lot of parents have left, even the elementary schools, gone elsewhere, whether it's Westview Elementary or another, you know, Horn, and they say, wow, there was a huge difference. I noticed, you know, my kid didn't really, he or she wasn't very strong in the writing. So maybe one of the middle school parents can answer that, about how, you know, how your kids are doing, what your thoughts are about kind of the English curriculum.
Hi, this is Miss Haley. I currently have an 8th grader at MIMS, and then I do have 2 elementary students. And my oldest daughter was in the first graduating class from MIMS, so she's in high school. My high school student is doing very well. She takes all AP classes and she has all A's. I have not noticed any struggle in her English nor her writing. And I can say the same thing for my current 8th grade student who's currently at MIMS. They score very high on their standardized tests. They do well in their Chinese. So I just wanted to address you since you asked for a parent. I personally haven't seen any falter or any decline in their English. So I can attest to that. My 4th grader, he's doing well in English. Mr. Sears is new to the school. He's already reached out to me, checking in on the parents of students who were in 3rd grade last year because they didn't get to take the STAR. And his report to me was, Xander is on target and ahead for where he needs to be. I'm not concerned about him with STAR at all. And he's been there since pre-K. So I haven't had that experience, so I can attest to that, but I just want you to know that all 3 of my students are doing very well in their English and writing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Haley.
I still have another quick question that Kai is dying to know. He says he's heard rumor there's no recess in middle school. Is that true?
There's no recess in any middle school. Do other middle school have recess? Not the middle school I've ever worked in. Well, no, for our middle school, for sure, we don't have recess. I mean, we have PE, we have sports as electives, but no, recess is more like in elementary. That's not, you know, in middle school. So it is correct. No, we don't have recess in middle school.
Yeah, Minji, they don't have recess, but my 8th grade daughter, they do have electives, and she actually chose PE/sports as one of her electives this year. So they practice in all the different sports. They're going to do tennis, volleyball, basketball. So they get a little bit of every sport. And so she's getting that PE class, and that's every morning, Monday through Friday. But then, as Mr. Ng also said, we have 3 UIL sports: cross country, soccer, and basketball. So he's welcome to participate in one of those in the middle school.
Thank you.
I wonder if I could also respond to Ms. Rubin's question about the English program. I think there's a very nice dovetailing at middle school between the language arts and the creative writing program, which we had. I can speak to 7th. You have the ELA teacher who is using small stakes assignments to sort of practice the writing skills in detail. And then you have the creative writing teacher coming in, giving longer pieces of work, analytical essays. And then you have your ELA teacher introducing major literary texts like To Kill a Mockingbird and The Great Gatsby. And you have the creative writing teacher doing analytical writing, like, for example, talk about a particular animal that you like, and they have to do this with citation and analysis. So I think there is a concerted effort, not just by one teacher, by several teachers, to sort of build on the writing program. And I think it is a solid program that we have at middle school. So that's my take on it to Ms. Rubin. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Morthy. All right, so we can take a couple more questions if we do have. It's almost 5:45. So if we don't have more questions, I'm gonna wrap this up. And we have recorded this session, so I will be able to share this with all of the parents who can join us today. Our goal is to retain all of the fifth graders, and hopefully, we bring all 61 something, 60 students, to middle school, because we really have a lot to offer. All right, so let's see. Oh, we have Miss Barrow. All right. One more question? One last question before we go? All right, so I guess we'll just go ahead and wrap this up. And parents, thank you guys for joining me today, and all of our parent helpers. It's really an honor to have you guys here, and I'm thankful for you to share your experience and information. It's great to have such a strong support as always. All right, thank you, and everyone have a great rest of the day. Have a good night.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a good night.
Good night.